The year 2020. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service celebrates another milestone. 65 years ago, 12 eager, enthusiastic, and energetic young women were given the opportunity to be pioneers, the first women to train and become police officers. Today, there are 1,859 women police officers operating within all divisions, sections, and branches of this esteemed institution. Women police officers make up the executive and are key decision makers in propelling the way forward. Women police continue to prove their worth. Today, we celebrate.
My name is Joanne Archie. I'm Assistant Commissioner of Police, Specialized Support. I'm acting in the capacity for the past 3 years. I enlisted in the police service on the 19th of April 1982. The question may be asked, what prompted me to follow a career in policing? I came from a policing background, put it that way. My father was a police officer. I have several relatives, uncles, cousins who were police officers, so the blue and grace were ever present in our home. And as such, it was just natural for me to gravitate towards that career. And I think it was what my father wanted me to do. And I took interest in it as well. And in addition to that, from a very young age, I was always the person called upon to settle issues and to mediate in situations. Even as a young officer, I worked with mostly men, and there always a situation with them, and they would call on me, who may have been the most junior. Joanne, I would need you to hear the situation. I need you to address this situation for us. And that was me. When I thought of the job, despite the fact that I was being pushed there by relatives, I looked at what I can gain from the job and what the country can gain from me being a police officer. Upon leaving the academy, I was transferred to the Southern Division, where I spent most of my career in the police service. And it's there at the Southern Division in the CID that I really made my mark as a police officer. Many of my commendations for bravery, devotion to duty, in fact, I have 18 commendations, and most of them came from my duties in the Southern Division as a detective. The experiences I've had coming up as a young woman police, I would say that the respect given to women then and now is quite different. I have had the officers at the time who would have disrespected, they will talk down to you in front of people, and then that, as time progresses and I move higher up the rank, it changed. And I always vow to, with other women or male officers, that you give people the respect they deserve. You don't talk down to people. You always, a good leader, a good listener, and I have been able to motivate my staff that way. You have to respect people for who they are. I have often been asked as a young police officer, what are my aspirations in the police service? And I recall being interviewed by a Guardian reporter who, one of the questions that was asked of me then, I was a detective in South, was where do you see yourself in the police service? And then I said, well, of course, being the first female commissioner of police. And here I am, Assistant Commissioner of Police. I'm not saying I will not reach there because of the way this service has turned out. But I always had high aspirations, and I work towards it. I educated myself in spite of the challenges, the challenges of policing, But I prepared myself for that role, and let's see what happens in the short space. Policing is a very challenging career, but it can also be very rewarding. Coming up as a young police officer, I was so passionate about the job that I dedicated most of my life or my young life to being a police officer because I loved the job with a passion. So your private life, of course, that would have been affected because all you did was policing. Coming up later on in my life, I got married late, and that again, my job affected that. And even so, I still say that I have no regrets. But a family life, of course, it was affected. Being a career person and you just keep going, you are being rewarded, you got a lot of awards. And of course, as the public information officer, you are the face of the police service. So from the time you in your private capacity, from the time they realize, look, Joanna Archie there, they will approach you, whether you're shopping in the supermarket, you're shopping on your own, they will approach you with a report. I have a report, can I speak to you a minute? That they will come to the police headquarters and there will be a line downstairs waiting to see Miss Archie, because Miss Archie gave them certain tips on what not to do and what you should do. And then, so they want further advice. Sometimes it's an issue of trust that they want to, they only want to talk to Miss Archie because she's the one who said don't do this and don't do that. So you find even in your private life, you're doing policing because in any case, you're a police officer for 24 hours. You can attend to a report even though you're in your private capacity. So there were the challenges of all they're seeing is Joanna Archie as a police officer. I might be out socializing and they will tell you, I know this is not the time for this, this is not the place, but let me talk to you 1 minute, Nana. I mean, how could you refuse? Because coming out of that is information that you may get to solve a crime. Those were the challenges. But when you love what you do, you don't see it as a challenge, but you see it as something to even make you better, make you stronger. Moving forward to when I got married, some years after, I was sent to Tobago, and my husband, he did not like Tobago that much. So you find I'm there and he's here. But we made it work, and when I began getting, people recognizing you for who you are, and he saw the love that the Tobago public gave to me, he understood. And I don't think that it was that challenging after all. So there were rewards coming from it, even though it was challenging, balancing your career with your social life. I have been in this organization for the past 39 years. And again, I would say it was 39 rewarding years. It was quite an experience. I don't think I could have gotten that from any university. There were the women who came before us that I appreciate and thank them for blazing a trail for women police in the police service. There is one particular who is a relative, that's Margaret Sampson Bong. She retired as an ACP. Her role in women police being recognized is that there was a time when women could not make children out of marriage. Her experience have changed that, and I want to thank her for that. And then there were the other older women police, but I would say retired women police in the batch of 1955. So here we are now celebrating 65 years as a organization, women police in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. I want to say thank you for those women police batch of 1955. They have led the way for us in many areas in policing. And on the anniversary of our women police, 65th anniversary of women police in the TTPS, I want to say congratulations to all women police in every section, unit and branch in the TTPS. We have come a long way since 1955. We have achieved We continue to stand out in several areas in the TTPS, and I want to urge you women police to continue to blaze your trail. I honestly believe that one of you, once you persevere, one of you will represent us as the next Commissioner of Police.
We salute their accomplishments.